deal or some shit.
Yeah, agreed. You know what I mean? But hey, it didn't happen. So
Monique, step up. You gotta step up.
Shout out to Monique. I love you.
Shout out to Monique. The Parkers was great.
Love that show. But yeah, step it up.
Yeah.
You and Sydney. Sydney's her husband. Step it up.
You know, like I said, I've been watching the news way back. I was watching the news, right? And the point that a lot of people try to make is, oh, the kids in Chicago. Oh, the kids in Chicago. Oh, Chicago. Oh, the guns in Chicago. And they try to say, oh, gun control doesn't work. Look at Chicago. And, you know, we live here. And I really do have a problem with us being like a talking point or a scapegoat.
I don't get why. I mean, when was the last school shooting in Chicago?
I don't think we have had one.
Exactly. You know
now,
what I mean?
we have problems with, drugs, gangs, those things that nobody wants to fix.
Yeah. Those things are also not easily fixed either. That's the sad part.
Yeah, it takes the community.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, continue.
And after this school shooting in
Florida,
near Miami,
mm-hmm.
you know, I got a text from my aunt. She was like saying, hey, you know, is everybody okay? Because my family lives in Orlando. You know, God forbid anything should happen to my family, I'd fly down there. Fuck that.
Yeah, man.
And basically they had a town hall because so many people are like, yo, what the fuck? Like, this shit keeps happening. Look at Las Vegas, Pulse nightclub. You can go back to Columbine. Like, this shit happens. Fucking Sandy Hook, where little fucking 8-year-olds were killed.
Yeah, man. What is it? It's like, what is it? I think America's like number one for America's number one for school and mass shootings. Not just school shootings, but mass shootings. And a lot of them just happen to be in schools. Sadly, you know what I mean.
And like I said before, I knew people that were in Las Vegas. My coworker, his family lives there, and thankfully, they all just happened to not get the day off and be in that fucking crowd. So it's like we've gotten to a point where politicians are being called out for their bullshit, and this is one of them, and I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy that that I agree. I'm happy with that statement. Yes, producer.
I can't see that far.
What is it? I got shitty eyesight. 18 school shootings since January 1st, 2018. I didn't even know that. So apparently there's a lot of fucking school shootings. I didn't know there was that many. See.
So the thing about that is we being the politicians don't change anything because they're in the pockets of the gun manufacturers and the gun lobbyists.
Yeah, of course.
So I remember watching the town hall. Marco Rubio, he wanted to run for president, right?
Mm-hmm.
In 2015. Yeah, he's a dumb bitch because Marco Rubio, you're a fucking idiot, because one of the people whose daughter was killed was like, could you stand there right now and tell me you're not going to take the NRA money that they give you? They gave him, I think, $3.3 million over the course of his time as a fucking senator.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, look, I'm sorry, but that's not going to change anything. They just happen to buy into my agenda. And even with like hella shootings in his state, like, he can't give up that money, dog, and it's kind of depressing.
He's not going to, man. That's the fucked up thing.
And he wanted to run for president, which I hope he fucking stubs his toe and steps on Legos for the rest of his life.
if he does, hope he steps on a rake.
Exactly, so it fucking hits him in the fucking face because he's a dumb bitch. I don't like these fucking politicians anymore, dog.
I don't either, but the thing that stood out the most to me about the school shooting was the race thing. I always hate that anytime that there is a crime committed by somebody white, you know, they instantly hit them with, mentally ill. Oh, he's mentally ill. Oh, he was abused as a child. Like they try to make you empathize with them, but you know, this might be a bad example, but I like it as an example. That's just me personally. It's like, oh, what's it called? Kills 19 people, mentally disabled. It's like a picture of TK, and it was just like supposedly.
I saw that.
TK the rapper supposedly kills one person.
2 people.
Yeah, exactly. What's it called? And it's just like, what's it called?
I think so.
I think supposedly kills 2 people, and he's like
tried as an adult.
He's a murderer. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where, you know, they'll, you know, obviously the white agenda is what's most important in America.
Obvious, and that's the stupidest part.
That's why the rapist dude from Brock Turner. That's why.
My God.
That's why he
Fuck
only.
that
What is it? He got like a month and a half in jail.
3 months.
He got 3 months in jail and shit. You know what I mean? But it's like, I bet you if that was somebody black.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
Under the jail,
or somebody Hispanic. Already. You know what I mean? They would have murdered his ass on on his mom's birthday. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or some crazy shit like that. And I just hate the fact that it has to be that way. You know what I mean?
And it doesn't have to be that way. That's the thing. If they were all fair and they were like, yo, obviously our laws are fucked up with this 19-year-old with a fucked up childhood, obviously, and nobody has a perfect childhood. I mean, I had a fucked up childhood. I mean, I don't think your childhood was perfect.
My childhood wasn't perfect, but
But did you ever feel like, damn, I gotta go shoot up a school?
No, I didn't. I mean, it's like one of those things where, I know that, I wasn't really bullied or anything like that. So, I mean, for people who are bullied, I know that's a really stressful, difficult thing to deal with. But you ain't never hear about nobody black shooting up a school. That's the point I'm gonna make. That's something that this crime right here, something my dad, rest in peace to my dad, would call white people shit. And I stand by that 100%. You know what I mean?
They're the only ones that really do it.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, what's it called? And that's because the white agenda is so adamant. It's like one of those things where the white people can get away with shit like this. You know what I mean? This kid could get away with killing a bunch of his classmates.
I mean, he's not going to get away, but...
He can get off a lot easier. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's not getting off.
He's not... How much you want to bet, bro? How much you want to bet they give him like 5 years or some crap?
How much you want to... I hope...
Like, he killed like 12 people were killed, I believe. I think it was 12 that
17.
That were actually killed.
Yeah.
It was 17. Okay, 17 that were killed. It was like 12 that were injured, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was getting my numbers mixed up. So 17 that were killed, but
15 or 16 of them were actual teenagers.
Yeah. So watch him get nowhere near a life sentence. If that was somebody that wasn't white, they'd give that nigga 17 consecutive life sentences for every fucking victim that was killed. You know what I mean?
And that's kind of how they're supposed to do it. Every how do I want to word it? Every person that died is another charge.
You get a life for it's a life.
It's a life per person. Mm-hmm. Per person that was injured is attempted murder, and plus the gun charge, plus shooting in a gun-free zone. Mm-hmm. So, for me, this is one of those things where death sentence is good.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
there's no real argument for it. Why do you want him alive anyways?
What does he have to offer the society other
besides
than
nothing?
He has nothing else to offer the world, honestly.
Besides maybe being a talking point on these fucking dumbass news sites.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? He's a thirst trap for Fox News and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And and for people like us too. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like there's no relevance in him getting any type. He needs to get the maximum possible sentence.
Death sentence. Death by firing squad by 17 people.
Death by firing squad, and it's one of those things where it's like all of the guns are loaded. You know what I mean? Because they would do it where only one person's gun was loaded.
Oh,
so
really?
That's how the firing squad used to work, where it was like only one person's gun was loaded, and they'd have like 10 people. So that way, only one person's gun was loaded with an actual bullet.
Yeah, and everybody else had blanks.
Yeah, so just like nobody actually would know who killed the person that was up in the firing squad.
Fuck that. Matter of fact, the parents of all these kids should probably all have live bullets.
Well, wait, the one thing that I need to ask is, how were his parents not more open about monitoring him? You know what I mean?
No, if I remember, his parents died, and the family that took him in was like, yo, we kind of were saying shit. Like, the FBI saw the dumb shit that he was saying and doing and posting and shit, but they didn't really do anything about it. Because they thought, he's not actually going to do anything. He's just a fucking poor teenager.
Yeah, exactly.
Working a minimum wage job.
He's not going to do anything serious. He might talk some shit, but he's not going to hurt nobody.
Yeah, so that's what the FBI was kind of banking on. Take all these crazy motherfuckers out, dog. Mm-hmm. Take them all out.
It is what it is, man.
I mean, not kill them, but be like, yo, we're going to fucking tag you. We're going to put a chip in you. If you walk near a gun store, you're going to get buzzed and shit.
I mean, the government already watches everything.
Exactly.
So it's like one of those things where it's like...
But they're over here fucking with us in the hood.
Exactly, you know what I mean? But they're more so worried about what's it called? About my homie standing on the corner because he's waiting for his Uber. You know what I mean?
Yo, that's fucked up. Did that for real happen?
Yeah, bro, that's happened to me before. I mean, that's happened... Well, a couple times me and my homie, we'd be waiting around outside, like waiting to meet up with somebody just to go hang out.
Yeah.
And the police would it'll be later on at night, it'll be dark. It'd be like 8:30.
And they shine that flashlight.
And they'd be like, "What y'all doing over here?"
Oh, that's happened to me too.
Like nigga waiting to meet up with somebody. Like standing. I didn't know it was illegal to stand outside. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you know what I do though in that situation?
What is that?
I'd be so polite.
Nah, nigga, I used to hate that.
You give them attitude?
I'm so rude. I mean, I'm polite now because it's like you gotta be polite, man. Because when I was a short, when I was like 13 or 14, you know that's. You know, black people just weren't being shot randomly for nothing. You know what I mean? That this was a couple years before that had started happening in massive amounts. You know what I mean? So it was like first time I remember I got caught up for a curfew with one of my homies, and what's it called? The officer just kept asking me all these questions. He kept assuming all these things. Like he was just like, "Oh, do you guys have any weapons on you? Do you have any drugs? Do you go to this high school?" Which was a really predominantly black and pretty ghetto high school called Sullivan. It's actually around the corner from here. And he was like, "Oh, I was like 13. And he was like, "Oh, do you go to this high school? Do you have drugs? Do you have guns? Like, just anything." Like, and I was just like, what makes you assume all of this stuff? Like, you know what I mean? And he was just like, "Oh, we saw you guys walking through that alley, so we thought you disposed of some stuff." Like, no, get the fuck out of my face.
Nah, dude, the fucking.
But now you gotta be polite. That was back
now
then.
shit. Now fucking guns start flying. I think the last time the police stopped and he was like, "Hey, what are you up to?" And you know I was like, "Oh, you know, playing Pokemon Go, fucking doing my thing." There's a lot of Pokemon, and oh my god,
he was like, "Fuck my girlfriend."
Oh my kid plays Pokemon Go, and then I'm like, yes, yeah, and so I wasn't really doing anything bad. I was for real just standing, or no, I was walking. Yeah. But
you were walking while Hispanic. That's a crime, bro.
That's true.
You were walking while a minority.
That's true. In the shadow, they can't see us.
Yeah, man, exactly. So it's like one of those things where you were endangering white lives by walking outside playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah, we were. It was like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
Whoa, bro. Whoa.
Dangerous time.
Yeah, dangerous. Even though nobody.
So that's how I am with police now, dog.
I mean, it's sad because it's like, but you know, we've seen you could be polite to police and then still fucking end up dying. You know what I mean?
Dog, there was one time me and a couple people were just standing there, and police.
You're a gang. You're obviously a gang.
And police pull up and draw their guns, and they pulled a gun on me, and I was just like, and then one of the guys that I was with, he started talking shit, and I was like, dude, just shut up, shut the fuck up. We don't have anything. One guy had a beer on him, but we were literally standing there at like 10 o'clock.
Oh my god,
God forbid, right?
God, you guys are wow, you guys are dangerous. You know what I mean?
But what do you think we should do about gun control, dog?
I think it's gun control is an iffy topic. You know what I mean? Because it's like one of those things where it's not a thing that's easily reformed. Like we just can't be like, okay, we're gonna outlaw guns.
Guns done.
Can't do that.
Yeah, that's not possible.
Won't work. Won't fucking work. There's way too many people who are pro guns for us to for the government to be able to get away with just letting it go, you know what I mean? We're just outlawing them outright, you know what I mean? And then, you know, Donald Trump is talking about let's start arming teachers and shit like that.
That's so stupid. Can you imagine a CPS school with these mouthing ass kids?
Oh man, you say some rude shit to your teacher and he pull a gun on your ass?
Just like, all right, pull.
I was a rude ass kid too, you know what I mean? So I couldn't imagine that shit. I used to talk shit any chance I could get.
For real?
Real talk, bro. Like I didn't stand for no bullshit. I felt like a lot of teachers were like would treat motherfuckers unfairly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like what was it? I remember one time a girl threw a pen at me.
And you got in trouble.
This was a girl threw a pen at me. This was at Vaughn. I went to Vaughn Steuben High School, which is in Chicago. And my freshman year, Mr. Bradburn. Fuck you, Mr. Bradburn. What's it called? Yeah, what's it called? Freshman year, I still mad about this. A girl, Corbin, black girl.
I'm gonna edit that out.
Yeah, what's it called? Nah, don't edit that out. Keep that in. No, you don't, bro.
You can't put.
Yeah, bleep out her name or whatever.
All right, I'll bleep.
What's it called? She threw a pen at me, and we were just joking. It was just some jokeful stuff. She threw a pen at me. Wasn't a big deal. So I jokingly threw it out the window, and Mr. Bradburn freaked the fuck out and was just like, "You shouldn't be disrupting my class like this, and the third," and like gave us detention, like sent us out to the office, and then we got detention. I was just like, and even Mr. Waits, that was the name of the fuck Mr. Waits too, Uncle Tom ass nigga, fuck Mr. Waits, and the producer went to the same high school as me, so she co-signs it. He was just like, "Oh yeah, well basically, you know, you just littered," so I'm like, "Why am I getting detention then?" And he didn't have an answer. And I'm just like, you know, CPS teachers are unfair. So imagine one of them niggas with a gun. You know what I mean?
I mean, believe me, I know the feeling. There was a few teachers in high school that just straight up hated me. Shout out to Miss Major. She for real hated the